So, in a world overflowed with emergency imperatives about human rights and conflicts, migrations, economic crisis, poverty, housing, environmental issues, doesn't sound strange or even shallow to focus on the relation with the so-called term matter like cultural heritage?
Yes, it sounds
Strange.
dramatically strange. It even sounds ridiculous. But if one doesn't know in which personal environment he or she is acting, how can you imagine that you do understand something which is not familiar to you? So you should start where you can start, at home, in your own environment. Try to find out, where am I connected to? What kind of values are behind these connections? What kind of dichotomies are behind it? What kind of unknown connections are connected with disconnections? And finally, you find out that you are simply part of the chaos. And that feels very comfortable. No solution.
So this program accents an approach implying that international cooperation projects carried out abroad, in warfare countries for instance, aren't more relevant than projects developed at home. It starts at home. What's your opinion about it?
You can't act abroad if you don't know how to behave at home. It's quite simple. And you see that in practice. So if you are working abroad, as you do sometimes, and you meet fellow Italians who don't have thought about the consequences of meeting people who are not eating like you, not thinking like you, drinking no alcohol, for instance. And if you have not thought about that at home, then you can't communicate. So going to another country is not enough. It is even useless if your aim is to know more about the people in those countries. So do it both parallel, because the experiences abroad has to influence your obsessions at home, and vice versa. In fact, I would say at home should be international already.
Finally, would you elaborate a bit more on the concept of cultural heritage in a cosmopolitan, transnational perspective as related to the building of European sense of belonging and citizenship?
My dear.
Just a bit more.
Now, let me say the basic thing, in my opinion, is that we have neglected in the sunny times of the Cold War. So let's start with the end of World War II. That is, for most Western European people, an understandable starting point. There, it was not the intention then, and now we are suffering from that, to combine the interest for intangible cultural heritage with the interest for tangible cultural heritage. It was much more easy to create local pride at the site of a former monastery, or to create local pride with the artifacts in the museum, than to start a reflection on the circumstances under which these artifacts were created or important or stolen. In the Netherlands now, only now, there is a discussion if the drawings at the sides of the so-called golden koets, golden coach, which once a year the king and the queen are driving to the parliament with horses. Now people see that on the doors are paintings from the slavery period. So although the golden coach is regularly presented as an artifact, only now people do realize that this artifact is part of a representation of a certain kind of value definition of the Netherlands as a colonial hero. So it was of gold, which is it was painted with the slaves in domestic positions which were not the ruling positions. So what is the meaning of this coach? Is it still creating national pride? And for what reason? So cultural heritage should permanently question these notions of belonging. Who belongs to whom and what belongs to whom and why? So again, start at home, try to find out. I myself, I was shocked when I visited a birthday party of a friend of mine who came from, he was working for an international company in an African country, and I came on the birthday party, and I saw everywhere this touristic objects with natives in serving positions, you know, these cliches. But he was fond of it. Look what I have bought. Not realizing that he was reinstalling an image which we want to get rid of. He probably had no colored friends. That was my first conclusion. So he went to Africa. He had his experiences with local population, came back, and his birthday party was entirely white, decorated with objects which are no longer appreciated for serious reasons.